I'm Jess, and I'm excited to take you behind the scenes of ILDT 5304 Assessment and Evaluation. It's a newly Quality Matters certified course, and in this course tour, we're going to show you how exactly we use DesignPLUS throughout the course to kind of bring all of these elements from our previous videos together. And if you're not familiar, Quality Matters is a nationally recognized rubric for high-quality online course design. Our QM reviewers shared how impressed they were with this course's thoughtful design, clear scaffolding, and meaningful alignment between materials, activities, and assessments. They noted that the course does an exceptional job of reinforcing key concepts and supporting students step by step, which is exactly what we aimed for when designing it. Okay, let's start with the homepage. Using the DesignPLUS sidebar and our custom theme called Rounded Flat Sections, we created a clean on-brand page featuring the course's signature color. And if you're a Swiftie, you'll probably catch on to my theme pretty quickly here. Just below the header and the banner, we customized our link grid with that same warm taupe background and personalized the links and icons to fit the course's vibe. Next, there's a clear welcome message that automatically greets each student by name using a DesignPLUS personalized token. Beside that, there's a short GIF in a manuscript-style typewriter font, tying perfectly into the course's aesthetic. The welcome message also gives students clear instructions for how to get started and how to navigate the course. If we scroll down, you'll see tabs that we built with DesignPLUS to explain the course menu, the Getting Started module, and what to do first. At the bottom of the page, we added a module list, another handy DesignPLUS feature. This list is organized in an expander by module, which opens automatically to the first incomplete module for each student. You could also set these expanders to open or lock by a date, so everything stays organized and students always know what's available and what's coming next. Next, let's look at the syllabus page, which is so often overlooked. Here, I used one of my DesignPLUS syllabus template blocks to pull key information front and center for students. This highlights what students will learn in the course, what they can expect to do each week, how they'll engage with the material, and how they'll be graded, and even includes quotes from past students' course evaluations. Using this kind of a clear and visual syllabus supports transparency and helps students stay focused and confident from day one. Okay, so moving on to the Getting Started module. The About This Course page is the first page in the Getting Started module, and here I added another set of vertical tabs for the content in this section with DesignPLUS. These break down the course overview, which is a video I made in Canva, the official course description, details about required materials, an explanation of how the course is organized, the course outcomes. There's a section on course design that includes information about our Quality Matters certification and a full citation list for all the materials. Then on the Meet Your Instructor page, I include an introduction video that covers pretty much everything Quality Matters recommends. Everything from my background information and teaching philosophy to what students can expect from me in the course. For my contact information, I used a regular bulleted list and removed the bullet point styling so the list is still read as a list, and then I added icons in front of each item so the icons look like they're the bullet points. Okay, on to the module overview pages. So on each module overview page, I use the same DesignPLUS styling to keep that consistent look and feel throughout the entire course. At the bottom of each page, I have a progress bar so students can easily see where they are in the module. Content is then organized with cards, which are laid out in columns using DesignPLUS. My introduction and task cards here are regular cards, and the objectives card is actually a flip card, so students can flip it to reveal the specific course outcomes that align with those module outcomes. This keeps the front of the card clear and focused while still giving students all the details they need when they want them. So using these interactive and visual elements helps us chunk information, reduces cognitive overload, and supports Quality Matters standards for having a clear structure and alignment. On the interactive video pages, I used DesignPLUS to again keep the styling consistent with the rest of the course. There's a short section at the top of these pages that explains what the video covers, and then when students click the video link, a dialog box opens using DesignPLUS, showing the full citation. And then I did this for the directions also. So when students click that for more info, they get clear instructions in that same dialog box without cluttering the page with that information. For the video itself, I used H5P to make it interactive by embedding questions directly into the lecture. This means that students actively engage with the content instead of just passively watching it, which aligns with Quality Matters standards for active learning and formative feedback. So combining H5P and DesignPLUS here makes the page clean, interactive, and very learner-friendly. On the learning materials pages, I used lots of DesignPLUS features to keep things clear, engaging, and easy for students to navigate. One kind of cool feature here is the checkboxes made using the DesignPLUS input tool, so students can check off each reading as they finish. This small feature gives them a sense of progress, and who doesn't love being able to check things off a list? To help students focus, each reading has a short TLDR description that summarizes what it's about, and a consider question at the top of the page that guides what they should look for as they read. At the bottom of the page, there's a "Are you ready to progress?" check-in, inspired by best practices I picked up through an ACUE course. Here, students can review the outcomes aligned with the materials, which open in a DesignPLUS dialog box again. If they click "I'm not sure," they're encouraged to revisit the materials and reach out for help. If they click "Yes," they're directed to the next page in the module. This layout chunking, interactivity, and self-checks all reinforce Quality Matters standards for alignment and learner feedback, and help students stay actively engaged, which also reinforces pedagogical best practices for learner-centeredness. On my discussion pages, I made sure to include all the key information that Quality Matters expects for assignments, like having clear guidelines, academic integrity reminders, relevant outcomes, and support information. To keep the page clean but still detailed, I tucked all of this into a DesignPLUS accordion so students can expand sections as needed without getting overwhelmed by all that detail. One of my favorite little DesignPLUS tricks is also in this guidelines section. I used a DesignPLUS shortcut to add what's basically a custom button that displays the rubric. Normally, rubrics in Canvas can be tricky for students to find for discussions, so this shortcut makes it super easy for them to check expectations before they post. It's a simple addition that really improves grading transparency for students. On the recap page, I changed things up a bit. It's actually set up as a quiz, which gives students an interactive way to pause and reflect. At the top of the page, we kept our consistent DesignPLUS styling with cards, but this time the top two cards are shaped like arrows, pointing students to the looking back and looking ahead sections. This ties the end of the module to what's next, helping them connect ideas forward. Next, there's a reflection card that asks students to pause and think about what they learned, which is also inspired by ACUE's best practices for learner reflection and metacognition. The first quiz question prompts students to reflect on how they did in relation to the module's outcomes, which encourages them to self-assess. The second question pushes them to think a little bit more about one thing that they'll do differently after completing the module, helping them connect their learning to their real lives. And the third question isn't a question at all. It's a small reward. It's a fun Taylor Swift gift. If students hadn't picked up on the TTPD theme from the quotes at the bottom of each module page, they'll definitely catch it here. It's a light personal touch that ties the whole course theme together and leaves students hopefully feeling more seen and appreciated. Together, this recap page shows how you can mix DesignPLUS styling, intentional scaffolding, and a touch of creative fun to help keep students engaged, all while aligning with QM standards for learner feedback, progress reflection, and a clear connection across modules. I hope this quick course tour gave you some inspiration for how you can use DesignPLUS in your own courses and sparked some ideas for how you can get creative and have fun making your courses truly your own while keeping them clear, engaging, and memorable. Thanks so much for watching, and happy designing!